Come on.
I don't know.
I thought we did it, no?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it.
Don't write them too fast.
Like and subscribe.
Hi, today we are at the Office of English with Laura and we will be answering common questions that students have about learning English. We have Matthew here from the UK and Irfan from Singapore, and I'm Laura. Let's get started. Alright.
Alright guys, on to our first question. What are the most common mistakes people make?
Sometimes like languages quite often have like vowels after consonants and it's very pronunciated in their language. So like good becomes gooder and things like that. So I think it kind of depends where you are.
Actually, one word that I really find funny when they're pronouncing is rural. Because it's kind of like a tongue twister, you know? It's it's just dancing with the tongue.
Right,
Yeah.
rural, mirror, murmur, they're really hard to pronounce,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They're quite tongue twisters.
The most common mistake that I notice is I am agree. And you need to say I agree, but somehow there's an M, which I mean should not be there. So I agree. And another one, people say it's mean instead of it means. So what does that mean? It means something.
Yeah.
But
Also, anything that has an ed at the end, like manage, they'll say managed. You know
Ah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
An ed at the end.
Yeah. For example, instead of do you like this? Yes, I do. It's yes, I like kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you just kind of, over time, you kind of get used to it. And it's kind of like, it doesn't sound right.
next one. What should I do if I want to sound more like a native speaker? I get asked that a lot.
I think the first thing people should do is work on their pronunciations. That's first and foremost the most important thing. And after that, eventually, you just work your level up.
I usually tell my students to use the mirroring technique where they would watch a movie or a TV show and try to find an expression they would normally use in a conversation, pause and practice that expression the same way that the character did. And eventually they would, record themselves and check whether they sound like that or not.
Yeah.
And I recommend that they do this many times so that they see do they improve or not. So repeat after the main character, repeat with the characters, and then record yourself, do it again and again until you feel like you sound like the main character.
True.
Right?
Very good. Actually, speaking about recording, I do that with a lot of my students at PixArt. So we do that recording technique to try to improve their pronunciation. And that technique really helps.
Next one.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Okay, fair one. How can I expand my vocabulary?
Topics. Learn about every single different types of topics, in my opinion. Whether one day could be space exploration, the other day could be a fashion presentation or industry, doesn't matter. Just learn topics. It's really important to expand your vocabulary because we never know. One day we might use a word out of the blue.
Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like a hypocrite saying this because I'm not a huge reader myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's rare. But read, watch movies, listen to music that you enjoy, but make sure you enjoy it because we remember things that we enjoy and we use a bit more.
The way I learned English is I was actually obsessed with English. So I started with Britney Spears. I learned all her songs by heart. I actually memorized all the words and I could hear them, identify them, and then I would go to my mom and try to say that to her, put it in a sentence, and she did not understand anything I said because she didn't speak it, but that did not stop me.
But
yeah,
exactly. It's just all about having fun because each one of us has an inner child.
definitely.
And how do we teach children? By fun.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's more or less how one of my really good friends learned English as well. Like, he learned English by himself, but like you followed music, but he followed games because none of the games were in his native language. It was all in English. So he'd sit there with the dictionary flicking through, finding these words with the subtitles so he could actually play the game. But now, fluent. You know, it's like, as you said, he followed something he enjoyed.
All right, on to our next question. What can I do if I can't find the right word? Relax, describe the word.
Yeah. Or describe around it. You know,
there we go.
because it's like one that I use with like my students before is even natives forget words. It happens.
Of
It's
course,
normal.
it's true.
There's a lot of words, and even if it's a very common word, sometimes it's just gone. You know, so one example is like if you forget the word for mirror. Okay, how can you describe a mirror? Reflective window. You know, it's
What if you forget the word reflective?
sure, but within your means.
Right.
You know, within the word bank that you have, find a way to describe it or just work around it. Or if you have a synonym that's maybe not perfect or the right fit, you can still use that if it gives the same meaning. Overall,
Correct,
you know, you
yeah.
can still identify, okay,
Exactly.
because for me, if I hear something, it's like, okay, that's not quite right, but I still know what you mean. And that's the point of language, getting across meaning, what you want to say. If the end result is the same, okay, you've achieved your goal.
I do take that.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the next one.
Let's go for it.
Last. How can I improve my listening skills?
I kind of think this touches back on expanding your vocabulary again. It's, I mean, for me personally, what I've seen the best results kind of come from music, videos, two big ones.
Podcasts.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to interact with native speakers very often, if at all. So those are kind of really good sources for exposing yourself to how natives speak. And also, even if you do, maybe it's one or two people, they're going to have their own accents. There's hundreds of different accents. Movies and music are a good way of exposing yourself to that.
Absolutely. Another way I think is also music and lyrics. Because, you know, when we listen to music, we just be like, yeah, you know, the beat is cool. I'm like, okay, now let's listen to the lyrics and let's figure out what are the lyrics and what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then that's when they go like, what is that? And then it's a completely different thing they're writing down. And
Yeah.
that's actually a really good exercise too.
I like the lyrics idea because lyrics is also a very good way to expand your vocabulary as well. So it ties them both together, especially with a lot of pop music. You have a lot of slang, colloquial phrases, word sayings as well. So if you find out what they mean, if you start using them, the next time you watch a movie, if those come up, you're going to understand more anyway. So I really like the music thing because it just ties multiple things together.
Awesome, great.
My students had this problem. So they have a big international team and there are different accents. So they understood the American general's standard accent, but they had difficulties understanding, for example, German accent or Spanish accents and things like that. And there's a very good resource. Actually, it's TED Talks, because these are like a series of events, right? And they take place in different cities, different countries, different universities. So you can basically listen to anything you're interested in. Just go to like TED.com, I think that's the website, and you can write a subject and you can hear like different accents, different talks from all over the world and discussions and things like that. So TED is like an amazing tool to use.
Absolutely.
Fantastic
There's
resource.
another great website. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it. It's called ororo.tv. It is awesome. It's like Netflix, exactly like Netflix, except there's different subtitle options. I think there's 10 languages. And you can pause it and click on the word on the subtitle and it'll pop the definition up for you.
Oh, that's a new one for
Really
me.
awesome.
Yeah.
So to improve your vocabulary, it's not enough to just learn the word. You have to learn the word in a context. And that's the hardest thing to do because, you know, you have this word, you know the word quintessential, and you have no idea how to use it. So what I would recommend my students is to go to youglish.com and write down the word. And that wonderful tool gives you lots and lots of videos from YouTube in a context. So you just search the word and a list of videos comes up where you have and at the exact place where the word is used. And that's how you see how that word is used. in a sentence. It's really
Exactly. It is an awesome website.
Yeah.
Youglish, right?
Yeah, English.
Youglish.
And the thing is that, again, you cannot remember words by heart out of context. You always have to remember sentences and phrases and things like that. So whenever I tell my students this, when they learn a word, they shouldn't write just the word. They need to write the word, the definition, and the context, or how is it used in the sentence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've had that one recently with the word grandeur.
Oh.
Yeah, grandeur. So it's like everyone understood the meaning of it, but it was how to use it within the right context. So yeah, very similar sort of things. Just try and get them to use it in the right context. Practice, give them a little bit of a little bit of a guideline, and in the end they get it. Yeah,
Exactly.
Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed it. This was our first time recording something like this, so if you have enjoyed it and found it helpful, please leave a comment below.
What should I say?
I don't know!
I thought we did it.
Did we do it?
like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, wherever it is on the video, and see you guys very soon.